What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Locked Cage MMA. This is Brian the Beast Eastlick with Josh Little Spartan Smith, our resident Gray Fox up in here. Josh, I know it's coming. I know my gray hairs are coming. Just how, I feel like when the time comes for me, I'm not gonna fight it. I got little wisps in there now. I got some in my beard. I don't think I'm gonna fight it. How long did it take you to before you stopped fighting it? You are a young looking man.
Well, I've been fighting it since like 26.
26.
Quite the long time.
Quite a long time. I was lucky enough not to be getting gray hairs at that time, but I'm getting them now, and it's I think I think I'm at that age where it's coming. I might as well stop fighting it.
I stopped fighting it recently, and it's not so bad.
It's
all right.
It's a good look, those the women with the daddy issues, I'm sure they like that.
Probably. I wouldn't know.
Not at all. Not at all. Yo, should we talk a little bit about what we've done recently with the podcast as far as, moving forward with all of the things we need?
Yeah, absolutely. You want to talk about covering our social media?
Yep. I have started up our Twitter page. That is at Locked Cage MMA. You can get us on there. Go ahead and hit us up with a follow. We will follow back because we need that recognition. We'll give you a follow back. We'll be interactive with it as much as I can, unless you guys just go gangbusters on it. We have like 23,000 followers after this.
Yeah, that would be hard to follow everyone.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, same on Facebook, Lock Cage MMA. Give us a look and give us a like, a follow, and we will return the favor.
Yep. The plan is for us to post a lot of like just MMA content, stuff that's potential matchups, and then possibly just throwing out like questions like, hey, who's on your Mount Rushmore of UFC? Tell us one of your favorite local MMA fighters and stuff like that. And then we'll take a look into them, and kind of check it out. I love, learning about new fighters and stuff all the time. That's one of the things I love about MMA is like, they're so like, I don't know anything about the local scene. And let's say, Wyoming, I don't know anything about their local scene. So if they got, people out there and they got people that are fans and they want to say, hey, look this guy up, check out a few of his fights. Here's a link to YouTube where it's got his fight on there. We'll definitely check it out.
Absolutely. It's what you don't ever know about that hidden talent, that hidden gem before they come up if nobody tells you. So it's not like you can see every small regional show on the market or every weekend everywhere across the nation now. The sport's exploded. So it's nice to know about those people and try and give them some recognition while they're trying to make it come up. So
I think what's cool about now, before like now I feel like there's like really only like in Iowa there's a few, but like Southern Iowa there used to be like so many like small MMA promotions. We had like Midwest Fighting Championship, which was John George. We had ECC, was it right? Extreme. What was what's his name's
Chad Bergmeyer.
Chad, what was his?
That was Elite XC.
Okay, was it ECC or was it what was the
EXC?
EXC. Okay, yeah, because I've Extreme Challenge, right? Maybe.
Yeah, it was
Extreme Challenge. Yeah, so like there was that, which he had a great run. Does he still do shows or is he out of it?
He is the head of the Iowa Athletic Commission now.
I have not. I don't know I have not checked out much of the local like Iowa MMA scene, so I didn't know that. So that's something I didn't know. I'm sorry, guys. I did not know that. I didn't know who was all on the board and stuff. And
He
but
actually
yeah,
recently just moved up and got promoted. But he's been doing this for a while. Yeah, for that.
maybe we can get him on the show sometime and talk a little MMA. He was one of the beginners, for all this shit. So
Yeah, he worked with a lot of up and comers that went onto the UFC or made the Ultimate Fighter. Uh, Chad was working with Monty Cox for a long time. Monty brought up all the guys from that, like Matt
yeah.
Hughes, Tim Sylvie, Pat Miletich out there. That was how he helped to bring those guys up into the UFC. All those guys. Without them, we wouldn't have a whole lot of stuff.
Oh yeah. Right now, like I was saying, there was one in Sheraton. I can't even remember the name of it. There was like a lot of little independent promoters that would put on shows once in a while. But now we kind of got like a main one here in Southern Iowa and True Rev. And we always say we always I try to bring them up a lot because I think they're a great promotion.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I think that's great because it's a lot. I feel like they're well organized. They're all about fire safety, stuff like that. Where back in our days when it was unsanctioned and you know there was no basically it was the wild wild west of MMA. No blood work, no nothing at the amateur level. It was
No,
we never fought pro fights, so I don't think there was. I don't know if there was even blood work at the pro level. Was there?
no, we didn't have an athletic commission at that time, so
Yeah.
not for MMA. And that's why you see a lot of kickboxing shows doing the same thing now. You'll see like, hey, there's a guy putting on a kickboxing show here and there. Not trying to bag on kickboxing shows by any means. They're just not covered as much
Mhm.
as in when it comes to fighter safety. And that's why a lot of promotions, not all, there are a few out there that are good, take care of their guys, but a lot of guys
Mhm.
switch to that kickboxing instead of MMA because they can get past the athletic commission, pay the
Yeah.
commission, pay for blood work.
Yeah.
And those are things you really should have no matter what. So I'm not a real big fan of that when it's ran that way.
Hmm. Yeah, and definitely, I love that the sport is so more well organized now compared to back then. Um, it's leaps and bounds better than it was. So I feel like I'm lucky I survived. Without I don't know. Not that I fought anybody that might have been like dirty or anything, but just like fuck, you never know. You could have never known.
You really never know. And I mean, when we were back, BJ Penn was huge, and BJ Penn did the whole lick the blood off his gloves, and then
Yeah.
so when you are fighting on a regional show and don't have blood work,
Yeah, no
yeah,
thank you on that one.
yeah, I'm good with not. I didn't know at the time, so I didn't worry. But now looking back, I'm like, oh no, it's not okay, because again, I didn't know at the time. I was young, dumb, and just wanted to punch somebody in the face.
uh Speaking of just wanting to hit someone, um I don't know about you, but I'm gonna let our listeners know right now that we're on the same page on slap fight. Fuck slap fight. Not gonna cover it.
Yeah, I can't imagine how we can even talk about two grown men slapping each other in the face. There's
Back
no,
in the day,
there's no
back in
sport
the
in that.
day when you slapped someone, you went outside and you fucking walked 10 paces and turned around and shot someone. Okay. That's what happened then. Like, but to have them do it basically like at a fucking table, like I have more respect for like monster arm wrestling than I do fucking slap fighting, which I monster arm wrestling's awesome. I don't know if you guys ever fucking seen that out. Do you know what about monster arm wrestling? with the machine and everything.
No.
It's like arm wrestling, but with the machine. Like you go up against someone, but you use a machine to like
See who's the strongest.
yeah. You go you like it's person against person, but they have like
Oh,
a bicycle. It looks like a bicycle bar in
yep.
between them, and it's apparently safer for the elbows, I guess, and put less
Yeah.
strain. But I actually have a buddy of mine that I know that was he's like a 20-time state champion at it. I would actually went to William Penn with him, and he's a fucking 18-time, 19, 20-time. Let me see if I know his name. Brian Willett. Yeah, I couldn't remember his last name. I knew his first name was Brian, but yeah, Brian Willett was like a fucking it's a fucking cool sport, but like, like fucking slap wrestling is fucking it's just ridiculous. And there's gonna be so much CTE out of this bullshit.
Yeah, it's just not healthy. It's not healthy. It shouldn't be done. It's not healthy. That's it. Stop doing it.
Yeah. And Dana White of all people is fucking promoting this. I can't get behind it. I just don't like, I've seen all this shit before on TikTok before it even became a sport over here. Is like, no. And it's losing ratings too. It's
Oh
fucking
yeah, it's been moved. It's been moved so many times. Dana actually came out and said something about he's tired of the media because everybody's talking crap about it. But I mean, you can't support something that's going to be dangerous.
they're moving it to an app too. I think for the main event, they're moving it to an app where you have to watch it on an app or some shit. So
I mean, those guys aren't even getting paid very much to take brain damage.
no. But yeah, it's not safe. And we
No,
will not it's just like if you guys like it, that's fine. I just don't I feel like I don't know if that's maybe it's like I don't know, maybe I'm being a hypocrite, but like I just don't think it's like yeah, I don't know, just two grown men slapping each other and then like I don't know.
It's not good. Boss Rutan, former UFC heavyweight champion from way back in the years.
Oh yeah.
Open palm strikes. All you're doing when you're slapping is an open palm strike, and that's more dangerous than being punched. I don't care who you are. You can line up your actual palm with your wrist and give a much better strike than you can with just this. This leaves the wrist involved with bend it while you're punching somebody. So
Yeah. The the good old Stockton slap. Maybe we'll see Nate Diaz on the slap fight.
maybe Stockton slap wins.
He gets smacked and then he just goes, fuck you. Slaps him back.
I can't imagine him letting somebody hit him.
Nah.
And a slap at that, which is like that's the disrespectful way to hit somebody right there.
Oh yeah. All right. Also, if you guys are checking it out, I've got some sweet merch on right now. I've got it's from Chain Wrestling. And I bought this merch from my one of my former wrestlers. I say former wrestlers. I was a coach on staff when he was on there. This kid definitely knows more, or he's forgotten more about wrestling than I'll ever know. Good old Aiden Reeves, owner, one of the owners of Chain Wrestling. I can't remember if he's the sole owner, but I know he's a owner or the owner of Chain Wrestling. And I got some sweet merch. I said I would put it on cam tonight during our podcast. You might not see the shirt much, but definitely the hat. Definitely some sweet merch out there. They got different lines from different athletes. All of them are in wrestling, I believe. But hopefully in the future, when we get some traction here, we'll be able to do some sort of work with them and definitely get a some sort of sponsorship. I think they're great. They're a great company, and Aiden's a great guy. He's a guy now. I think he's over 21. He's a guy now. He's no longer that that sophomore, that after he was a sophomore, we spent a whole summer in the wrestling, or in the, not in the wrestling room, but in the weight room, and he got just jacked and fucking dominated the next year's junior year at 120. So he definitely got stronger and fucking just went out there and dominated on the mat. And he definitely had a hell of a career. Now he started out at Iowa State, and then he transferred to Grandview and tore his knee. So he had surgery and rehabbing that, and he's got 2 more years of eligibility. So I'm excited to watch him wrestle a couple more years, and watch his brand grow, and watch him win a national championship.
Awesome. Absolutely.
But yeah, like I said, I was on staff. I mean, I was one of his coaches, but like I said, he's forgot more about wrestling than I'll ever know. So yeah.
It's a nice thing to have that much knowledge in your head. So
yeah, if you guys want to go find if you want to find the merch, I believe it's chainwrestling.co. So CHAIN wrestling r WRESTLING.co. And yeah, you can find this sweet hat there. They got different hats. They got this shirt with the Chain Wrestling logo. I got another one that just says just wrestle on it. So that's always going to be that's my go-to wrestling. So I definitely I was not the one that wanted to get hit in the face. So
it's a good base to start with wrestling.
Oh yeah.
It's a little better than wearing people out with your face.
Who was I thinking of that was saying that they did that too? He liked his old Muhammad Ali he was the rope-a-dope, but he did the body, not the face. All right, should we jump into the meat of the show and talk about the what happened in the wonderful world of MMA, the UFC Fight Night 220? So I don't know if you saw this, but the main event, Ryan Spann and what was it? Ryan Spann and Krylov. It was canceled. What I heard was Krylov was sick.
Yeah, that's something you can't help. The co-main event ended up becoming the main event, and it was good.
Yeah, I thought it was a good fight. A lot of people slept on Brendan Allen but he is someone I fought, or I picked to win my bets. And I can go over my bets here in a second, kind of let you guys know how I went 6-3 on the night, betting wise. And it's like, betting wise, you don't always have to bet like winner or loser. You can always bet like if it's gonna finish under X amount of rounds and stuff like that. It was a overall pretty good card. Brendan Allen, I don't know why people sleep on him. He's got hands, and he's got fucking submission game. He's just
he's got the whole package. I think he's gonna do very well.
Oh yeah, he's definitely gonna be a contender here at middleweight, and it's gonna be nice because I feel like they need some new blood at middleweight.
Yeah, I mean the same guys are at the top, and they've got nobody knocking at the door really. So
Adesanya kind of ran through that division and was kind of lapping it again, and it's good to have that fresh blood in there.
Yeah, it's nice to see somebody else kind of trying to climb the ranks. So you got somebody to look at, the champ, which is now Poton Alex Herrera, but I think they're going to do a run back with Izzy and him first, and then we'll see what else is coming up in the division. But
yeah, if Izzy wins it, I don't know what they do if they run it back with Pereira again.
I mean, you have to give the guy the same thing that you gave the previous person, right? So
you would think,
and it's always got to be an odd number. If you won one, I win one, then we're both sitting at you won, I won. And we don't know who wins overall. So it's always that third one always makes you win overall.
So my night started with let's see here. I have to hit this button to load more. It started with I went with the Joe Selecki and Carl Deaton fight going under 2.5 rounds. I hit that. I had O'Day Osborne winning. He was a dog. He was at plus 145. Jordan Levitt, I had him winning. Got that at minus 125, so that was pretty good odds. Had Jasmine Jusdavicius, had her winning. She was at plus 105 dog, which it's not that plus 105 is not that much of a dog, but I knew what she was capable of. Definitely swung and missed on the Eric Gonzalez versus Malott fight. Or no, Trevor Peak, my bad. I don't know why I said Malott. Trevor Peak. Swung and missed on that one. And this must have been around the time they announced that Ryan Spann and Krylov was going to be scratched because my bets on the Spann fight came through as void. So I got my money back on that. Johan Lioness, I had him winning. I missed on that. He was a dog at plus 175, ended up losing. And then I had Tatiana Suarez to win by decision. She ended up submitting Montana De La Rosa. And then I had Augusto Sakai, which I can't remember if I picked Mays or not last week, but like at the last minute, I was like, I'm gonna go with Augusto Sakai. And then I had Brendan Allen winning. So went 6-3 on the night, which is great for betting. That's a 66% clip. So I'll take it. It's a winning night.
Yeah, you can't beat that. I'm positive I did not do that well on any of the previous fights. So my bank would say I haven't done well.
Now Selecki, he got a rear naked choke on Deaton. Pretty good fight. He got that in the second round. O'Day Osborne had a split decision against Charles Johnson. That fight was pretty good. I was actually I started watching that fight. I was into about the second round, and then I went outside and got my smoker going because I grilled out a little bit on Saturday too. So I missed about half of the fight. I figured he had lost, and then he ended up winning a split decision. So then we had Jordan Levitt. Jordan Levin, do you know what song he came out to?
No.
Grind with me. Take your time with me. It was a fucking that song. Who sings that song? I don't even know. Fucking
I don't even know.
Is that Genuine? Genuine sing Grind with me.
I
Pretty
think
Ricky. Pretty Ricky. Yeah, it sings Grind, and that's what Jordan Levitt came out to. It was great. I'm not even gonna talk shit about it. Fucking do it. Go for it.
That's gold.
Yeah, he beat Victor Martinez. He knocked him out. Jordan Levitt is also a guy that he's the one that Patty Pimblett teabagged. So that's he'll have that to his fame, He's a goofball like Patty Pimblett. He does that stuff that people are like, well, that's gay. Fuck, it's 2023, guys. Get over it. People are having fun. You don't have to be a toxic masculine, toxic man. I'm all man, 100% testosterone. Fuck it. Yeah,
that's terrible. There's no need for it.
Yeah. Have you don't watch fucking TikTok, but they're like after these last fights, I saw just like a ton of fucking Don Fry fucking videos of him talking about, back in my day, we, our incentive to fight was, or, our incentive to win was to fight another fight that night, is every weekend was a tournament. And like, yeah, you either, you went to the hospital or you went to the after party. And if you were tough enough, you went to both. And I'm like, dude, no. He was talking about these fighters, like talking about pay and stuff like that. And I'm just like, dude, like like no one cares anymore. Like you don't have to be a tough guy anymore.
That's the era he came from. That dude is still. He was
I
literally talking about.
he still looks like he can fight, but it's just like
Oh,
I
he's
just
had
feel
many back surgeries, many. But he's still. I mean, if he could get medically cleared, if they would let him fight, I think he would. I think he would. If the doctor would clear him and let him fight, I think Don would be like, I'm in, yeah,
uh
do it.
but yeah, I just feel like I don't think we need to be like the society today. You don't have to fucking be like that. Like you can tell a tough guy and like you don't have to come out and be like you're a fucking tough guy. He's I don't know, it just sounds like he's like I don't know, overly toxic masculinity. Like that's just I'm just like
Possibility.
but it's like Jesus. I mean like is there a point to this? Like he's calling out like I feel like he was calling out like Sugar Sean and a few other fighters, and it's just like the game's changed, man. We know so much more about fucking
Gotta
fighter
evolve.
safety.
You gotta
Yeah,
evolve with the sport, or the sport
yeah,
leaves you behind. That's just everything in life. You gotta
yeah,
evolve, or it's gonna leave you behind.
yeah. Next we had Jasmine Jazz Devicious, the old Canadian versus Gabrielle Fernandez. She won by unanimous decision. Um, most like when I'm betting a fight, like hate I hate to bet on a finish when in a woman's fight. Um, and that's not being sexist. It's just most of the time they they don't get to the submissions. They don't hardly knock each other out. It's just it goes to decision. So I hate picking like a fight to like end in submission or like a knockout. That's just betting wise. Do I want to see it? Hell yeah, I want to see it. There's some tough ass women out here, you
Oh
know.
yeah, for sure. It's that smaller weight classes.
Yeah. Like I feel like even men at like flyweight don't fucking knock each other out that often.
No, that's why they had
So
that
it's
problem with flyweight for so long that nobody wanted to watch it, or it was a dying division. And you hear all those rumors that Dana White's going to get rid of the division, blah blah blah. I mean, it's not going anywhere, but yeah, I understand it. The smaller weights usually go all 5 rounds if it's a championship fight, all 3 rounds if it's just a regular fight, and
oh yeah.
a lot of decisions are made in lower weight classes. The bigger you get, the easier you're going to see a quicker finish. Those
Yeah.
guys don't go as long,
You have a
and
heavy hitter.
they're bigger.
Like I feel like if they added more to 145, I feel like the 145-pound division could see a lot more knockouts, especially with Nunez there too. I think that bigger division, that division they don't do shit with. They need to build it up.
It's hard to. I mean, if you look at the world in general, females just aren't 145 pounds. Um,
Yeah.
I'm not like there's just not a lot of females that are 145 pounds that fight.
Yeah.
You know, you get the bigger you get. That's the end of it too. Is that's the top of the weight class that the UFC has. There's nothing bigger
Mhm.
than that. This shows you that like there's just not enough weight class or not enough people out there to fight for the weight class. I think that's
Mhm.
why you see Amanda fight both fight weight 135, 145. There's not enough people for her to fight.
Yeah. I mean, at the same time, there's got to be enough people in the local scene that you could probably. I mean, I feel it's probably going to be one of those divisions that here in about 10, 15 years could be a division that's going to be, you know, better than it was. Like you'll see, I think this because you know every day you see more and more people that come out that have been training since they're like 15, you know, even younger. Some of these kids that are training now, they're like, I've been training since I was 16 or not six, but six or not 16, but like I've been training since I was 6, doing Brazilian jiu-jitsu and wrestling since I was 6 and boxing, and they're training for an MMA career. So we might see, I feel like that division with women, we might see, you know, some bigger females come out and, you know, be at 145. There's not a lot of women that are like I guess you're right on that. There's not a lot of women that are around 145 that, because I don't know what a lot of women feel like they've got to be under, a certain weight, but I don't
Yeah,
know.
that's society for you.
That's society, and I don't agree with it, but
No, I 100% agree there. It's not a great thing, but I mean, it's not a lot of there's not a lot of people, and you think about how the men's division took forever to grow. I mean, UFC's been around since the '90s, and it's now exploded since the original Ultimate Fighter. But I mean, that was the men took so long for the men's divisions to come as deep as they actually are, and some of them are still sparse. 155's deep, and there's a lot of talent at 155, but you can get all the way up to heavyweight, and you know, show me 5 guys that watch MMA that can name the top 10 guys at heavyweight. And it makes it hard because you can't think of top 10 great guys at heavyweight.
yeah, I can. I mean, I'm and all that. Like, I could even name a guy that most people probably don't know. Like, even in Tom Aspinall, a lot of people don't know about him or don't. They'll be like,
Right.
who? But
That's
he
and
was a
that's one
guy.
of those.
He's one of the guys that just fought like Curtis Blades. People know Curtis Blades though. He fought Curtis Blades, kicked him and fucked up his knee. But yeah, I mean, like a lot of people don't like, they don't have like, heavyweight doesn't have a lot of name value really anymore. I mean, Tuivasa came through and he's kind of made a name for himself. Derek Lewis, but I feel like Derek Lewis is on his way out. We've got Cyril Gahn, and now we've got John Jones there, but like, I don't feel like it's like back in the day when we had like oh shoot, I'm trying to think, my one of my favorite fighters, the big Russian guy, uh how tastes my big pee uh fought Sylvia. um he's still fighting, the big Russian. uh
Still fighting.
yeah, what's his name? I'm drawing a blank on his name. uh
I don't know.
oh shoot. I'm gonna find his name here in a second. Andrei Arlovsky.
Oh,
We had Arlovsky, we had Sylvia, we had Couture, we had Lesnar, we've had, all these guys. And then just now it's kind of like the division's kind of like, it's taken a little bit of a backseat.
it has. It has. And that's the more technical fights are starting to become more interesting to fight fans because they've already seen the big guys knock each other out 100 times. We've seen it in
Mhm.
boxing for how many years? So
Yeah.
I think that's a big reason why.
Yeah. I'm gonna run through these next ones 'cause I think we're kind of a little bit behind. But we had Trevor Peak. He beat Eric Gonzalez within the last few seconds of the fight. That was pretty cool. He about without within him five. He had him like punch drunk, against the cage with like 5 seconds left, and then the ref waved it off, and they called it. I guess they called the time 4:59, but he literally like within 5 seconds had it like 5 seconds ago in the round. It reminds me of Chuck Liddell doing that, get fucking caught with like the fucking the that, that clap with 10 seconds to go. He gets
Mm-hmm.
fucking knocked out. Um, we had Malat beat Johan Lioness. Tatiana Suarez beat Montana De La Rosa. Got her in a submission, which, like I said, it was I I just don't feel confident to do it. I mean, I'm probably gonna call it out, eventually on some of my bets, because I'll give you guys most of my bets on what I'm gonna bet on for the fight cards coming up. And then we had Augusta Sakai. I thought it was a good outing by Augusta Sakai. He won a unanimous decision against Dontel Mays. And then the main event, we already kind of talked about Brendan Allen getting slept on. Um, Andre Muniz is a great fighter too, but that dude Allen, he's a gamer. He's for real. I think he's going to be a contender, and I think we kind of already said that. He fought Sam. Allen beat Sam Alvey.
Yeah.
Everybody beat Sam Alvey though.
But he's always smiling.
He's always smiling, smiling Sam Alvey. He had what was it before he left? He had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 losses and 1 draw. But hey, what? You know what? I will never. I joke about it, but he made it to the big show and I never did. So kudos to Smiling Sam. He's got a great TikTok going, and he does a lot of. I think he does a lot of kind of talk about fights and stuff. So I'm glad to see him doing well outside of the UFC. So hopefully he didn't get any CTE on his way out. So
We're just gonna now start figuring that out. This guy just now start to get up there. Obviously, no one's quite there yet, but no one's dying of old age or having any major problems. But I mean, our oldest fighters, the legends, the pioneers, they're only in their 50s. So
I think we kind of. I don't know if Liddell is CTE or if it's cocaine that alcohol that and I'm not I just he's self-proclaimed has done a lot of coke, so he's gonna come kick my ass now. But
he's bigger now too.
damn, my fighting days are over. Okay,
he's a big boy now, so be careful.
shoot, going on to we're gonna talk about so I caught the Jake Paul fight. I know this is boxing, guys, but I caught the Jake Paul fight on Sunday against Tommy Fury. I'll just say, obviously we could tell that Tommy Fury is a boxer and he's the best boxer Jake Paul's fought. I still don't think he's the best boxer. I don't feel like Tommy Fury's an amazing boxer at all. He's got a padded record of 8-0, and he's got a lot of fighters that are just like the first guy he ever fought was 10. He had 10 wins, 102 losses. Next guy he fought was like 2-20, like 2-26 or 12-26 or something like that. He's just kind of fought a bunch of nobodies, and like I feel like he kind of was timid on some but I don't know if that's any fight with Jake Paul. Like I feel like some of the fighters pull their punches and don't try to knock him out and stuff, like because there's certain times when, like, as a fighter, when to go in for the kill, and you see fighters pulling up on him, like they see where they could just like throw like 3 or 4 more punches here and it's done. Like I seen Anderson Silva do it, but Jake Paul took his first loss, so maybe his fights, or maybe he took the loss in order to make more money with a rematch. That makes sense. Jake Paul loses his first fight, turns around and fights on a pay-per-view. He's probably gonna make more money. Who knows? Who knows what the thought process is there?
Yeah, Tommy Fury made millions after having only 8 fights, so good for him.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, we got into the wrong game. We should.
Yeah. There's always been more money in boxing, but boxing's always been known as being very, very corrupt and having fixed fights.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah. I'm not a big fan of it. Or I am a big fan of it, but like I'm not a big fan of some of the fights you watch and you just well, I think this guy won, and then they go to the judges' scorecards and it's like a unanimous decision and it's like not the way you go and you're like, what?
That's where I started. I started boxing. I had 14 boxing matches. My very first boxing match was against a guy who was 110 and like 2.
Jeez.
So this is why I did not enjoy boxing, because every match was like that. This guy's 115 and 7. This guy's had 80 fights, and you're like, cool.
Yeah.
Back out to get my head pounded in again because I don't know anyone that's gonna help me out. So the transition to MMA was very nice.
Should we cover some of these fights for 285 here?
Yeah, let's roll through these fights with 285. I think these are gonna be very interesting.
UFC 285 is gonna be a barn burner from the prelims to the main event. We're not gonna cover every fight as much as I know you guys would love to. We're just gonna cover the ones that we think people are gonna be watching more of. There's a lot of guys that go through here and they'll do every fight, and but we're just gonna do the ones that most people are gonna know. We're gonna start off with Tabitha Ricci Ricci, yeah, that's how you say it, versus Jessica Penne. Tabitha Ricci, I think she's getting a lot of traction here. A lot of fans know her. She's Baby Shark. If you keep talking, I'm gonna bring up an autograph I have of her so you guys can check it out.
Yeah, so I think that Jessica Penne is going to have an actual better fight than Ricci is. I just the grizzled veteran. I got to go with the grizzled veteran. I don't know. That's just where I would go with it. We'll see. I've not been right on these picks very much. So, but it's probably because I play these picks to my heart more than I do of actual how they should win. So. But I would say Penny's the grizzled veteran's gonna come out and win this one. If she doesn't, that's okay. She's got an OnlyFans and she's doing well with it. So
hey, there's nothing wrong with OnlyFans. We have actually a podcaster on the Hashmark Network, Christy Lee Bella. She is an OnlyFans model.
Hell yeah.
She's pretty cool. I just watched a podcast with her and Dave, and she sounds like an awesome person. So
that's all it takes is just money. It's your life. It's what you want to do. So do what you want to do with your life. As long as you're not harming anybody else.
Hey, if I felt sexy enough, I might have had one.
We're packing the wrong equipment to make money on OnlyFans.
You never know. All those women out there, they could be looking for washed up MMA guys who are got dad bods. You never know. But here we go. There's the Tabitha Ricci Baby Shark. If you look there, it's Baby Shark. I got that Beckett certified on there, so it's a cool picture. I think I
need to zoom in on the butt. Or
did I zoom in on the butt?
It was just her booty. That was all. Just booty. That's all we're getting.
That was the Baby Shark, right?
Yeah, nobody's looking at your signature on that. Come on.
Not my signature, her signature.
Yeah, nobody's looking at the signature on that at all.
Yeah, that's but yeah, I have her auto, so I've been a fan of her. I think she's a good fighter. I think she's gonna win this. I think the UFC wants her up in the rankings. I think Ricci hasn't had that great of fights recently. She's let me see. I was gonna check out the I think I looked it up before. I just kind of wrote notes on what I thought before I did this, but yeah. Wait a second here. Gone. All right. I think Penne's coming off of a layoff too.
Mm-hmm.
I think she hasn't fought since. Oh, maybe she fought last year. My bad. I thought she was coming off of a layoff, but she's July of last year. I'm not going to discount her on that. I mean, less than a year. So
Yeah.
She's coming off a loss. I mean, she's still. I think she's 40. I don't think she's in for a title run. I think they're gonna give Ricci a fight that she can win. That's just my opinion. I'm going with Ricci by decision. I think, and then I was gonna also say, Ricci's only loss is to Manon Fior. And Manon Fior has not lost a fight in her career since her professional debut. So Manon Fior is in the title contention. Very tough fighter. But yeah, my decision. I'm going Ricci by decision. You're going with Penne. I feel like you're going.
I gotta go with the vet. It's probably the end of the road for her. I think sending her out on top is a good way to go. I think she's gonna want to go out with a win. So if she loses, she retires. If she wins, she rides the title run until it's over and then retires. But I think she's gonna come out with a little bit more fire in her this time because this is probably it, right? I mean, if you lose, this is the end.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I don't. I think. I don't know. I feel like Ricci is. She got manhandled by Fior, but she got TKO'd in the second. But I mean, I feel like they're gonna try to get her into that. She's a name. She's a draw. They're gonna try to give her a fight that she can win. That's just my theory on it.
I can understand that.
And then our next fight that I had that we were going to go over was Derek Brunson versus Dricus du Plessis. I like both these guys. It's hard for me to pick this fight. I just I'll go first since you went first last time. I have Brunson winning this fight. You might have Dricus. I have Brunson because I think Dricus is he's kind of he's biting off a little more than he can chew at this stage. Brunson's a contender in this division, and I think he wants to make it back to contendership. He lost to Cannonier in February, and he hasn't fought since. So he's had about a year off. He's given time for I feel like that helps with the whole your chin getting back to where it was. I think it helps him get his chin back, and I feel like he can work on things he needed. The biggest thing I think when he fought Cannonier is he looked so gassed in the second round. Do you remember that fight?
Yep.
And I think he looked so gassed in that second round because he wrestled him. So he took him down. He took Cannonier down in the first round. And then when he couldn't take Cannonier down in the second round because he was so gassed, I think it hurt him. But like I said, I like Dricus. I really want to see Dricus, do well. But I think it's too much for him right now.
All right. I think Brunson's game. I always do, and I think this is going to be a really good fight.
If he's blonde Brunson, there's no way he loses.
Yeah, blonde Brunson does a much better job. I got to go the opposite way, just because of Du Plessis' last fight. He demolished Darren Till. Now Darren Till's been kind of on the outs. He's not great. I mean, he's on what 5 losses and 4 loss skid or a 5 loss skid. So it's nothing. He hasn't been at the top of this game. But the way I seen Du Plessis look during that fight, I see a very highly skilled, very, very hungry fighter, and I'm interested to see where he goes from there. I'm not saying he absolutely can take out Brunson, but from what I've seen, I believe he's got what it takes to take this fight and win, and not by decision. I think he wins the fight, and he wins it unanimously prior to going to the judges.
I mean, Till's losses. I mean, he's like 1-5 in his last 6 fights.
Right.
He's lost to Woodley. He has a loss to Jorge Masvidal, and Masvidal caught lightning in a bottle and turned it into a fucking championship run. He beat Kevin Gastelum, which I feel is no small task.
Right.
Lost to Bobby Knuckles, Robert, aka Robert Whitaker. Lost to Derek Brunson, and he lost to Dricus du Plessis. All these guys are good fighters,
Very,
even before Dricus beat him, he'd come off a loss to Derek Brunson,
Yeah, I think
but he had a good run.
It's gonna be a great fight either way. I don't think Darren Till's done either. I know that Till got released, and that's
Yep.
fine, but he needs surgery. He's going to go get surgery. He's going to get better. He's going to come back. He's going to work his way back up.
He's only 30, so
Yeah, he's got time to have surgery, come back, get a couple of fights under his belt, and be right back next. So I think he's going to be fine. But for me, this fight, Brunson Duplessis, it's not going to be Brunson. I think Brunson walks out with a loss. That's how I feel. We'll see what happens on.
I respect that. I don't know, like, as and if you eventually, when we get back to the NFL, I'm sure you'll watch some of our hash mark sports and stuff. They always talk about looking at the storyline of a game, or like anything. Like, you have to look at the storyline. What makes sense here? Do you know, they always kind of think about they think of things like I just said, like when I was talking about Brunson and how he was a contender and how he's looking to be into he's fought the tough guys in the division. I feel like it's and the script for Duplessis is the same way, a young up and coming guy, trying to get into contendership, but I think Brunson he's a good wrestler. He took a year off, and I think he's one of those guys that could be in the title contention again. But like I said, there's some good fights on this card, so it's hard to, like, if you pick against me, it's not like it's like, well, that's
It's one of those ones that could go either way. I think we're going to be pretty much on the other side most of the way.
most of the way. So the other fight that we had after this, we'll go on to Garbrandt versus Trevin Jones. This one was hard for me to pick, simply because Trevin Jones is 13-9 and Cody Garbrandt has no fucking chin.
Yeah. So on this one, I gotta go. Ugh.
I might switch my pick too. I'm
not going with Garbrandt. We haven't seen Garbrandt be able to stay in a fight for how long? Garbrandt hasn't been able to win a fight. He hasn't won a fight in his 30s. So I know we're early into his 30s, but that doesn't sound nice. It doesn't sound nice when you didn't win a fight in your late 20s either. So he hasn't won a fight in a long time, and every fight he's just been slept. I think he's too wild. I think he's uncalculated. He doesn't think about what he's going to do. He goes out there and just goes. That worked great for a while, because it was new. It was, whoa, we don't know this blitzkrieg type blitzing of a thing that he does, and he comes in after you hard, right?
Yeah.
I just don't see him winning this one. I think Garbrandt loses this. It's on the undercard. I think he takes a break. He goes and figures it out, and he either comes back with something, tangible to his name that he can do something with, or he goes on to bare knuckle boxing.
Yeah. And gets knocked out there.
Yeah, I mean, he's still getting paid to get knocked out. So
yeah.
I don't see it going anywhere.
I don't know here. It's Trevin Jones is 13-9. He hasn't done. He's only won one fight in the UFC. One was no contest, overturned by someone tested positive for something. Mario Batista, he beat him, and then he lost to Saeed Cub. I don't know how you say it. Kakhramonov. That's how you say it. I have to enunciate it. But Kakhramonov, he got beat by him. But Kakhramonov's a tough guy. He just lost to Saeed Nurmagomedov. He got choked, but he's a solid prospect. Sayukub, I think that's how you say it. Sayukub. But yeah, he lost to him, and then he lost to Javid Basharat, who's Basharat's brother's fighting on this card.
Mm-hmm.
It's his debut. Um, and then I don't know who Rayoni Barcelos is. But you know, he hasn't fought anybody really good, but you're not seeing him. He's getting submitted more than his last two fights were decisions. So I mean, I don't know. I just
Shows he's got the gas to go. He's got the gas to go, right? So he's got the
I'm
gas to go. And
I'm
the
I'm gonna
puncher's chance.
I'm gonna stick with my fucking original pick. I'm gonna pick Garbrandt. I'm gonna pick him by KO. As much as I don't want to see Garbrandt win, as much as I don't trust his chin, I wrote down. I think the UFC is gonna give him an easy fight.
I think that's the case as well. I think the UFC believes that it's an easy fight.
I think they most likely want to build him back up because I think he's got name value. They might do something like they did with Donald Cerrone, get him back. He's name value. He'll be on fight night cards, and he'll be on the main card in fight night events. They kind of want to get him to, I think, do a Donald Cerrone type like run because he's not gonna fight for a title. Not in my opinion. He's like 12-5, I think. But I just don't think that he's gonna be contending for a title. He's more like a gatekeeper now, which at 30, how being a gatekeeper at 31 is kind of maybe you should I don't know, maybe he could string some wins together and pull it back together, but I don't know. I don't think so. Yeah,
gatekeeping much. I mean, what's going to gatekeep the unemployment line?
All right. Next to Bo Nickel versus Jamie Pickett. I think we're probably gonna go on the same pick on this one. Don't tell me you're picking Jamie Pickett.
No, I don't. You can't go against Bo Nickel on this one. I mean, his only loss, he doesn't have a loss in MMA, right?
No,
but he has a loss in grappling, and that is to
I don't remember.
Gordon Ryan.
Yeah,
his only loss in grappling. He has a couple of.
Is this like MMA grappling, like the Abu Dhabi stuff?
I don't know what the rules were where he grappled at. There's so many different leagues and different rules, like the ADCC, and it just really depends on where he was. I'm not sure where he was. I just know that he did take on Gordon Ryan, and didn't go well for him. But if you get put in there with that guy, and you can even move yourself around, I don't see how anyone's taking this kid out for a while.
Oh, Bo Nickel has hands too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I can't see how you go with anyone else besides Bo Nickel. 3 times champion in wrestling. What else? I'm just going off the top of my head.
Yeah, I don't remember what else. I don't think he was an Olympian. I think he just missed out on being an Olympian.
He's young. He's only 27. I think, so he's not super old at all by any means. He's not getting into MMA way late because he was in another sport too long. So
he's still young. He's 27. So yeah, just getting into he did not. He hasn't wrestled in an Olympics.
Those just collegiate titles.
Yeah, he's got 3. He's won a U.S. national championship though.
There we go. Yeah.
He won the under 23 world championships. Has three titles and a runner-up. He was a runner-up as a freshman. Then Big Ten champion 2 out of 3 years. The year he won it, he got 3rd place at Big Ten. It's crazy. Dang. Yeah. He's an accomplished grappler. Like there's so many wrestlers that are like you look at him, you're like, you should be in MMA. Why are you still mess around with these, national tournaments. But if they didn't do that, I wouldn't be watching these national tournaments and these international tournaments and stuff like that. So,
Well, and if they didn't do that, they wouldn't be getting the call to MMA either. So, it's just top guys that get that call, not just everybody that's doing it. So
Mhm.
it's a good way to get your name seen so you can get into there, because maybe you're training both. Maybe you already train in a certain sport. I mean, MMA is not the highest paying job in the world. So
No,
not a lot of people are going to be rushing anymore to get your face pounded in for tiny pennies,
no
especially
money.
when football is going the opposite direction and you can't hit anybody anymore, and the Pro Bowl is slap and tickle.
Yeah.
So if you hear, and I understand that it's all about the player safety. I also look at the thing where if you're making tons of money, you throw your safety out the window for making that kind of money.
Mhm.
You give me $40 million a year. I don't care if I have legs at the end of the year. We're good.
I'll buy new legs.
I will have bionic legs at that point. I don't care. So
Next we have oh yeah, sorry. I forgot to give my take on that real quick, but I wrote down Bo Nickel by absolute dominance. I think this is gonna be a submission, most likely a rear naked choke. I think the UFC is going to test the waters with Nickel. He won't get a tough opponent for a few fights. Pickett lost. He's on a 2-fight losing streak to Kyle Dawkins, who I respect his ground game. And then Dennis Tululin. So, yeah, he's since his fight on the Contender Series, he's lost, won, lost. So, I think they're gonna give him they're gonna like, all right, here's your first fight, show us what you can do. And then, I don't think he's gonna get a tough opponent for a few fights. I think they're gonna kind of feed him along like they did Sugar Sean, but I think they'll go faster than they did with Sugar Sean.
yeah,
I think just because I said sugar, ain't no fucking sugar. I don't think I can like Sugar Sean O'Malley anymore because I'm diabetic, right?
oh shit. No, you can't. I mean,
Damn
that's
it.
it's too much flavors. It's like, all kinds of flavors there, just solid sugar.
Uh, but I said this dude is for real. He will be a champion. Good striker in wrestling is out of this world. So yeah, I think he's gonna be a champion at I think this is at middleweight, right? Is this a middleweight?
Should be
Um
85.
yeah, middleweight, right? Yeah, middleweight, because Pickett's a middleweight and Nick will say he's a middleweight. Yes, he is. Okay, good deal. That's what I thought. I was like, I just double checked it. Yeah. So that's I feel like that's a gimme fight. Just that Nickel and we might get surprised, but I think it's Nickel all day.
Yeah, I go
Um
with that.
Next we have Jalen Turner versus Matus Gamrot. Um did you go first on that last one?
Yeah,
Yeah,
this
because
is all you, and you can go for both of us on this.
I
And if you
am
don't have it right, I'm gonna be very upset.
I have Gamrot by submission.
Okay, we're good.
I like Jalen Turner too. These are all, like I said, these are all good fights, and like I like watching Jalen Turner. He's fun and exciting. Gamrot, he's just such a good grappler. Um, he got a win over Armin Sarukian, and he had a close fight with Dariush. Sarukian had a very good fight with Islam, when they were both starting out. Very good grappling match. And some people say Sarukian won that fight.
Yeah,
So I feel like Gamrot having a win over Sarukian in a close fight with Dariush, I think Turner, I don't think he's gonna be able to get grinded on like that with wrestling. Pause for, if you guys feel like that's uh homoerotic, but I think he's gonna. I think that grinding wrestling style is gonna wear Turner out. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. You want me to go on to the next one then?
Yep, let's move on.
All right. So we got Jeff Neal versus Shavkat Rachmanov. I said his name right the first time. Dude, I love me some Shavkat Rachmanov. This dude is for real. I feel like, ooh, he's such a he's Jeff Neal's a great fighter. But Rachmanov is a beast.
Jeff Neal is a stud, but yeah. I like Jeff Neal. He's a great guy. He's a great fighter. I really enjoy him. He comes to fight every time. But yeah, I think we're gonna be on the same page again here.
Yeah, I'm going Rachmanov on this. I think Rachmanov can do it anywhere he wants to do it. I think he could, because he is just he has just as many finishes on he has just as many finishes in submissions as he does knockouts. He's got 8 knockouts and 8 submissions, and he's 16-0. So he's gonna finish the fight. I feel Jeff Neal comes to fight every time. It's gonna be a tough battle for Shavkat, but I think he gets it done. I mean, he's done it again. Neil Magny was a tough guy, a real you call a gamer, if you want to call it that. He comes to play every time. Comes to fight. And he doesn't mess around, and he's surprised some people. Magny has, but
And Magny's been on a run, so
yeah, he fought. He beat Jeff Neal. He beat Max Griffin, lost to Shavkat, beat Daniel Rodriguez, and then lost to Gilbert Burns. Which Gilbert Burns is a tough fighter. He's gonna be fighting in March too, right?
Gilbert Burns is phenomenal. He'll fight anyone, anywhere, any place. He's fantastic for the sport, and I really enjoy him.
When he fought Chimaev, and I feel like he won that fight. So
yeah, he's just phenomenally fun.
Maybe we can see Shavkat versus Gilbert Burns here soon. That'll be a battle.
I would go for that. That'd be interesting. Let's see how this fight goes and start pushing for that one, huh?
Yeah, I think this is Shavkat needs that test. And I think this is a test for him. So the UFC definitely gave him a good test with Neal. Next we have the co-main, which is Valentina Shevchenko versus Alexa Grasso. This is a tough one, I feel, because Shevchenko in her last couple defenses has not looked like the best that she's been. I don't know if she's getting really kind of bored with fighting or what the deal is, but
I've seen it before with fighters where they get kind of bored with it. Shevchenko's 34. She is getting up there now in the smaller weights. You can go a lot, up in age. You can get a lot further, but maybe we're seeing an age slowdown. Maybe not. Maybe that has nothing to do with it. Maybe she's just bored. I guess we'll see how this goes.
Yeah. Her last fight against Taylor Santos was a split decision. I felt like I don't know, in that fight, I felt like she was kind of timid in that fight, didn't pull the trigger on a lot of stuff. We saw Santos get some good grappling in. And that was like Shevchenko hadn't been taken down very much, right? And I'm pretty sure Santos took her down a few times there. But yeah, so yeah, they got play-by-play on here, but I'm not gonna read through to see how many times she took her down. But it's like, I know Taylor Santos took her down, and kind of like Shevchenko kind of got away with a split decision there. Alexa Grasso,
she's on a good streak. I think four or five. I think it's 4.
Yeah, 4. She lost to Carla Esparza. She's lost to Tatiana Suarez. She's beat Vivian Arajo. She beat her. Um, and I think they're fighting on the same card. Yeah, they're fighting. She's fighting Amanda Ribas, which, but yeah, I just, I'm, I think this is I think what I think they want to do here is I think they want Shevchenko to win, defend her title, and I think they want her to fight Nunez again. I can see this happening this year. They have Shevchenko wins. Um, is Nunez scheduled to defend her title anytime this year?
I don't believe anything's been announced, but I could have missed it.
I don't think so, but I could see Shevchenko defending and then them putting her and Nunez together to just get that. You got to have, if they're going to have that trilogy, they need to do it before they both get too old. You
Yeah.
don't want to see, a fucking Chuck Liddell and Tito Ortiz fourth fight, in their 40s in a fucking promotion, that is defunct now.
Yeah, definitely not. I
You know,
think Grasso is going to. I think you're going to see an upset. I think you're going to see a changing of the guard, and I think Grasso is going to be the first Mexican women's champion. So, I that's what I'm going with. That's what I'm going to stick to my guns on that.
all right. I can understand that.
I think we're going to see a. I think we see a changing of the guard from what I've seen from Shevchenko. I think she's slowing up a little bit. I think it's the age factor. She's been in a lot of hard fights.
Oh yeah. Shevchenko's 34, so I mean she is on the older side of things. I mean, we say that, but
I'm definitely older, but I mean at that age, I know what I felt like, and I know what it's like to have so many fights under your belt and just the wear and tear it takes on your body. She's been in some wars, a lot of wars. So, and I know she trains that way. She trains hard. So, I guess we'll see. Maybe I'm completely wrong, and she goes out there and smokes Grasso. But
yeah.
I think it's going to be a good fight, and I think that we have an upset in the changing of the guard. I think Grasso, kind of takes it over, and she's younger. She's in her late 20s.
Let me look real quick. I was looking at Amanda Nunez's page because yeah, she's 29. So it's
Oh, I was off a little bit, but I think she's in her prime. I mean, 29, that's a dang good time. 29 in between.
You're like, fuck,
32.
I wish I was 29 again.
I wish I was 29 again. I got a phone call when I think it was 29. I'm not sure if it might have been a little bit younger, but I remember getting that phone call and on 8 hours notice drove 4 hours, fought, won a state title, and then left and went home. So I remember that age very well. You just unbeatable, unstoppable. Nothing can get to you. You are at your peak.
What state did you win? Was it in
It
Iowa?
was Illinois.
Illinois, nice.
Yeah. Yeah, they asked me to fly down there real quick and fight and leave and go home, and I said, okay, cool.
You traveled, fought, and then turned around and came home. What a fucking night.
That was a real fun time.
So what happened? Did someone drop out or?
I'm not sure, I'm not exactly sure. They sent somebody to pick me up, and I jumped in the car with them and took off, and
That sounds very sketchy.
it was a little weird. They called me and said, "Hey, is your blood work up to date?" And I said, "Yes." And they said, "Get in the car outside." And I went, "Oh, okay."
The car was already out there.
Gone. Yeah. So it was a fight for Extreme Challenge, but
nice.
Extreme Challenge Illinois. So I had fought for them. At that point right then, I was holding their 45 belt anyway. So they sent me down there to fight that guy with the 45 belt in Illinois. So basically unify those at the same time. But yeah, I understand what it's like to be at that age, and that age can who can do a lot when you're at that age. So you see a lot of people usually do good because it's their kind of their peak time.
So if Grasso wins, does maybe Shevchenko bump up in weight to challenge Nunez?
I could
Perhaps.
see that. I could see that doing the third round. I think that you're spot on what the UFC is possibly looking for is a third fight between them because that's where the money is. But I just think Grasso's going to upset everybody's cart and really go out there and kick some ass. And maybe we look back at this podcast and we go, God, Josh was an idiot.
There's gonna be some times during these where I'm gonna say something and they're gonna be like, God, Brian was an idiot.
Yeah, I mean, it's all up in the air. You never know. I mean, everybody shows up differently on fight night.
When I post I used to post my picks on what I was betting on for the night, or I give my best 5 picks. Because obviously I bet a lot of the fights. I don't just bet 5 fights. I'll bet pretty much every fight of the night. Not every time, but I'll have a good run in on what I want to bet. But yeah, like when you are good, nobody says anything. But as soon as you have a night where you go 2-3 or 1-4, everybody's there to remind you.
Yep. Yeah.
Not the times when you're 4-1 or like 3-2. Most people don't say anything on those. They might say, "Oh, well, your 2 picks were obviously dumbass picks," but never. Always like when you're like 2-3 or 1-4, miss all 5. Which I don't think I've ever missed all 5 fights on a night, but the people on TikTok, they're sure there to remind you.
Yeah.
So
I bet.
the trolls are always out.
Yeah.
I said, let's go to the next fight.
All right.
I don't know where I was getting. I said, and I was like, I don't know where I'm going with this. Let's go to the
We
next
only
fight.
got one left. That's a big one.
Yep, the big one. Everybody's been waiting on. Everybody's been waiting on. John Jones versus Cyril Gahn. I think you know what, isn't it called Occam's razor when the most obvious answer is the right answer?
Yeah.
I'm going John Jones. That's who I'm gonna pick. 2 things. John Jones is light years ahead of Nagano in wrestling. What did Nagano do against Gahn? He took him down. But you could tell his wrestling was not that crisp. John Jones won a national championship at the JUCO level. Could have won one at the national title or not the national level. Had, I think that's when he had his daughter. But yeah, he could have went to the next level and could have got a national championship, but probably at the NCAA level. Didn't. Started training, went into MMA. And then also John Jones is striking is second to none. He uses his fucking elbows to punch you with. Like, who does that?
He literally does, and he sets him up very beautifully.
It's who fucking does that? He'll fucking throw it, and then he fucking throws that elbow as a fucking punch, and you're just like,
no, now you're gonna see a man who does that. That's put on 45 pounds, right?
Yeah.
I don't see Gon's only loss is to Francis, right?
Yeah.
So I mean that in itself, that looks great. Your only loss is to Francis, and he knocked out to Avasa recently.
Yeah.
So, and that was devastating. John Jones out wrestled Daniel Cormier.
Yeah.
That's an Olympic wrestler. One of the best wrestlers to ever enter the octagon. for sure Hall of Famer with a massive wrestling base. And John Jones took that guy and literally molested him inside the cage. I don't see how, if Francis out wrestles Gone, that how John Jones doesn't out wrestle Gone. Unless Jones says, "Hey, I'm not going to wrestle him because I know that he's easy to beat by wrestling him, and I'm going to stand up with him." And I still don't think Gone can do it unless he just gets lucky and lands one.
I don't think you're gonna get that good at wrestling defense in that short a time.
If
Especially
DC couldn't stop John Jones from taking
Yeah.
him down with a shorter stature, okay,
Yeah.
I'm a shorter guy,
shorter, thicker stature.
shorter, big, like wider, got a better wheelbase. I mean, this is a good fight. I'm interested in watching this fight. Whoever's not interested, just go home.
We've been waiting on John Jones's return for a while.
Look, John's had some issues outside the cage. He's not the greatest person in the world, right? I mean, we've seen that, but I don't care about what happens outside of the cage. He's still legal to fight. Whatever you did outside of the cage is not my problem. I'm only concerned with what happens inside that cage. And I say that, and I don't like Conor McGregor, so I like that, and it's only because it was outside of the cage antics. I just don't. My thing is, I would never judge him when he's inside the cage. I want to see his amazing fighting style. I may not like them as a person because of what they do outside the cage, but John Jones is the GOAT.
Oh yeah,
everybody throws Nurmagomedov in there. Khabib, he was so dominant. John Jones dominated everybody, and he's still doing it. He's still fighting. He didn't go, "Hey, I dominated everybody, and now that I've dominated everybody, I'm gonna leave."
Yeah. Nurmagomedov, I have a hard time calling him the GOAT. People call him the GOAT. I can't side with that because he literally won the fight or won the title and defended it like what, twice? Yeah. He didn't defend it very often, or he only defended it like a couple times, and his mom told him to stop fighting, and he fucking did.
Right. So and that's okay. That's his choice. But you can't be the GOAT when you stopped. Okay. You just got to pound for pound rankings. You just got the #1 pound for pound ranking, which I don't even think he should have had, to be honest, because I don't think pound for pound he could have beat people that were elsewhere in the weight classes. So yeah, he dominated his weight class. But I'm back to the Jones Gone. Like I said, John Jones is so good.
He defended it 3 times. He defended it against Conor McGregor, Poirier, and Gaethje. Yep.
So
3 times.
Striker. All strikers, one striker with a small wrestling.
Poirier can wrestle.
He can wrestle. He's a lot bigger than most people in the division. He's not got a wrestling pedigree necessarily, but
no. Yeah, definitely.
Wrestling can dominate if you don't have a good wrestling pedigree. You can tell by when we see the Dagestani guys coming over and fighting, and they're just dominating everybody. And it's like wrestling. If you get a wrestling base and it's real good, then you build the strike.
Mm-hmm.
Then you build the strike because the wrestling is, once you get a hold of somebody, you can just lay and pray if you really want. I think John Jones wins this fight round 1. I think the fight stopped in round 1.
That's if he wants to. I feel like if he wants to, it's done round 1.
I think he wants to. I think he comes in with he's got a new camp.
Mm-hmm.
He's trained with Cejudo.
I was going to mention that.
Listen, man, king of cringe, and I'm not a big fan of Cejudo because he's just cringy, and I just can't say. He talks, and I'm like, I'm sure people are like that with me, which is fine.
Hey, I'm my children do it to me all the time. They say I'm cringy, so
it happens. He's good. Cejudo's good. He knows what he's doing. He knows his wrestling, and I think that Jones has found a home where people accept him for, even though he's made mistakes, he's not being punished for it anymore. Like he feels like he's got a fresh restart, and I think that's a huge importance on its own. Because John didn't feel he felt out of place when he was down in Albuquerque, he felt like he was being replaced by other people. The next guy coming up.
But he replaced fucking Rashad Evans,
Yeah.
you know. So
I think John's what, 30, is he 35, 36?
let me check here. He's up there. I mean, he's definitely gotta be, coming
I
toward
mean,
the end of his
we're on the
career. And
tail end, but this is why we moved. He probably made the move to heavyweight. I know he's already on the tail end. I just can't remember if he gets 35 or 30.
he's 35. So
Okay.
I mean, look at Arlovsky. Arlovsky was winning fights in his 40s.
Yeah.
I think he turned 43, and like I said earlier, yeah, I couldn't think of his name. Old man brain,
Oh
but
yeah. What do you think? I mean, I think Jones would. I don't think Jones would keep going. I think at some point
yeah,
when he realizes that the competition he's came down, right? Competition's rising. He's going to get older and come back down. Because he's levels above people.
I think it's gonna be one of those where it's gonna take like a consecutive loss to do it, like one and then another, and then he's gonna be like, all right, well, the game has passed me by. I've lost twice. Um, but I feel John Jones comes in. I think he might. I don't think. I just don't see a round one finish, not unless he knocks him out. Uh, I could see a round 2 or 3 TKO, like gets him down, fucking gets in guard, or maybe he knocks him down, gets on top of him, and throws these fucking just nasty ground and pounds, some elbows, and just I feel like it's there's Gon's not going to win any round in this fight. If he wants to make Gon look good, which he might, that's how I see it going 5 rounds. Maybe he knows he's ahead in the scorecards and he gives 1 round to Gon. I don't think he's Mr. Good Guy, but if he wants to, make Gon look good, he's gonna go like at least 3 or 4 rounds. But that would probably my prop bet would probably be under. Oh, we'll see. I'll see what the bet is on under 4.5 rounds. I'll probably do a TikTok with my picks for this card. But so everybody, go ahead and check my TikTok out. It's ODB Gaming. So at ODB Gaming, and then I'll have my picks posted on Saturday for you guys if you want them. So Josh is not much of a gambler, but I do enjoy it. It makes the fights a little bit more interesting, but it helps me with my breakdowns look better and why I picked a person.
Yeah.
Well, that's the end of the card, and I think we're well over an hour. I'm not sure. I don't even know when we started this. So
Oh, I'm sure we pushed the envelope on the hour.
So that'll be all for us tonight on Locked Cage MMA. We're gonna be working on. I've got a buddy of mine that did an intro for my one of my last podcasts. I'm gonna see if he can do like a guitar like riff with like intros, because he did a ring announcer voice for one of my podcasts, and see if he can do something like that for ours.
That would be
And
cool.
then be like at the end of it, like the cage is locked and loaded. And then just have something cool like that for our podcast. Cause I think definitely the showmanship that we got here is second to none. And the chemistry is second to none. Any final thoughts before we close the show out?
Yeah. If you're watching this, listening to this, just don't listen to Brad. It's gonna be Jones in the first round.
Oh shoot. I'm gonna plug Chain Wrestling again one more time. Like I said, sweet shirt. It's this is their logo here too. You can find them at chainwrestling.co. And great kid, Aiden Reeves. He's wrestling at Grandview this year. So definitely see if you can check him out on their I think they've got a some sort of like not YouTube, but like you know how some colleges have like a stream that you can watch stuff on. But definitely can watch him on Flow Wrestling. He's got a Flow Wrestling profile. You can catch a lot of his stuff on there too. He did a lot of freestyle and stuff like that when he was younger. And I think the high school, I think the Iowa high school tournament is on Flow Wrestling too. I know it was at least on Track Wrestling for a while. So, but yeah, that'll be it for the show tonight. You guys have fun. We're hoping this comes out on Friday. So until next time, this has been Brian the Beast Eastlick.
And Josh, little Spartan Smith.
I think you should start going by Gray Fox.